You might not know how to speak Tagalog yet, but you stick around long enough, you will. Without further ado, the first item that I want you to guess is this. What is this? Tapsilog. Tapsilog is a blended word. It means tapa, sinangag, and itlog. Tapa is cured beef. Sinangag is fried rice, usually garlic fried rice, and then itlog is egg. Right? That's tapsilog. Filipinos love to do this with their food. So we have tapsilog. We have longsilog. What's longsilog? Longanisa. It's a Filipino sausage. It's not the healthiest, but it's probably one of the best. Instead of saying, can I have sausage, rice, and egg? You just say, longsilog nga po. So you go to the Philippines, longsilog, short. Next, tosilog. Tocino, sinangag, and itlog. Tocino is caramelized goodness. I don't know what meat it is, but it's goodness. And then it transcends food. It even enters our state of being. Oh, so deep. But actually, the word that I'm going to ask you to guess is chillax. What does chillax mean? Chill and relax. And it even transcends state of being. So we've got chillax, we've got the food. Even Filipinos love teams. Katniel or whatever. But one of my favorite is this. Can you see? Brangelina. Okay? Anybody knows what Brangelina stands for? Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Wrong. It's... I miss my parents. For those people who don't know the context, these are my parents and they just recently migrated elsewhere. And their names are Bradmon and Angelina. Hence, Brangelina. So in our family, we like to tease them a little bit. And we really like blended words. And I think other countries as well, they like their blended words here and there. So what's in the name? My wife and I like blended words. And as you know, my daughter's name is Rebecca May. She also has a more intimate blended name. And Rebecca May, we call her Ray. Right? So hopefully when she becomes a pastor or she becomes a missionary, I don't know, when she grows up, she adopts this name. And she remembers that the Ray originates from the Hebrew word, my shepherd. So we want her to always follow our good shepherd. And that's our hope. As a parent, we really do hope that she grows up wanting to follow our good shepherd. You know, so our names hold a lot of power. So there's hope and dreams passed on to that child just by the name. And today we're going to be talking about somebody who's named after a very important person. And then you can tell the dreams and the hopes of the parents being passed on. And this person's name is Levi. So a little bit of a history lesson. So Levi is the third son of Jacob and Leah, the father of one of the 12 tribes of Israel. They were in charge of the tent of meeting. They were in charge of the Ark of the Covenant. Anything that has to do with anything holy, it's them. It's like they're designated holy people, designated priests. So when someone is named Levi, we can kind of guess what kind of hope the parents of this person had. You know, maybe the parents wanted their son to be upstanding, wanted their son to be following God, to follow the law, and maybe even someone who would become a priest. So imagine this, you know, I can just imagine as a parent, I'm going to name my son Levi, so that when he grows up, he's going to be a priest. Unfortunately, our guy didn't turn out as expected. He became a tax collector. A tax collector, if you've been joining us the past few weeks, a tax collector is not those kind of respected employee of IRAS or the CPF. They're there to really make life. They're already occupied by another country, by another nation, and they make the Jews even worse off. You know, for example, the tax is 10%. as a tax collector, how am I going to get my profit? I'm going to tax you 12%. 10% to the government, 2% here. And even more, if you read further, if you research further, they tax you for anything. If you go out offshore or if you dock, they'll tax you. If you go out, they'll tax you. If you haul a certain amount of fish, they'll tax you. And they love to set up their booths near this kind of passageways, near the ports, near intersections. So whenever you come in, tax naman dyan, or to make it smoother. So you can just imagine how people hated these tax collectors. So our Levi, our priest, instead of pursuing the law, he pursued profit. Instead of being respected, he was reviled. Instead of being a follower of God and his laws, he became a follower of the money. It was all about the money, money, money. But can you identify with Levi? Have you ever disappointed someone? Maybe your parents, maybe yourself. Maybe you think Levi was outcast. It's like being named Jesus, but being the most dishonest, selfish person around. I think at any point of time, we felt like Levi. We were no good. We didn't measure up. Everybody else deserved to be called to God except me. Everybody. My sin is too great for God. And yet, Jesus asked him to be a follower. After this, Jesus went out and saw a tax collector by the name of Levi sitting at his tax booth. Follow me, Jesus said to him. The same call for Levi is the same call for us. Levi probably sat in his booth. Like I told you, they like to set up booths near intersections, near ports. And who likes to preach on a boat? Jesus. Jesus, the crowd would get too large, and then he says, okay, I'll go on a boat so that I can preach. And who would be sitting there at the tax collector's booth? Levi. What's he doing? Listening. What's he telling himself? I'm too far gone. You know what? Salvation is for those holy people. I'm okay with my master here. But Jesus knows him. Jesus knew him. Jesus knew his heart like how he knows our hearts. We may be sitting in our chairs Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, hearing God's word, thinking, they deserve Jesus, not me. I'm a hypocrite. I go to Sunday after Sunday and I go back and I'm the same. But I want all of us to realize that God is still calling each one of us. Oh, but I'm not a worship leader. Oh, but I'm not an usher. I'm not like him. I'm not like her. I don't deserve it. I want you to know today that God is looking at each one of us and asking us, hey, follow me. Jesus calls for everyone to follow him. Pinoy, foreigner, Singaporean, Caucasian, African, Indian, shout out, man. Malay, I don't know. But God is calling everyone, talking to our hearts. I want you to follow me. How should we respond? When he asks you to follow him, he's asking you to say yes to following him, but also to say no to our old master. If actually telling Levi, follow me, leave profit behind, leave money behind, leave self-doubt behind, leave all of that behind and follow me. And God is also asking us that today. How should we respond? Think about it. Don't respond out of emotion. Okay. I see that everybody's face got a bit too serious. It always happens when you say, think about it. They're all smiling, smiling. Think about it. I actually have to think? No. So you think about it. But before that, we joke tayo muna. Okay, loosen up. All right? I'm a father, so I have every permission to give dad jokes. So here goes my first dad joke. How do you put an elephant in the fridge? I need a brave soul to raise up their head and answer it. Oh, there you go, Tita. Okay, please stand up. Sorry, it's like a classroom. Okay. Thank you, Bo. Let's give her a round of applause. Yay! But if your mommy is like my mommy, she will shout, sarado mo yung fridge. Close the fridge. Electricity is expensive. So yeah, you open the fridge, you put the elephant in, make sure you close the fridge. Yeah. Because mothers have this very cool way lalabas, in Tagalog they said, lalabas yung lamig. Translation, the coldness will come out. But we follow. All right, so she's right. You open the door, you put the elephant in, and you close the door. How do you put a giraffe in a fridge? Si ate ulit. Wala na kayo, bingo na. Mic drop, ate. Next time you come up here, I'll give you this. Okay, ate, please. Educate all of us. How do you put a giraffe in a fridge? You have to bring out the elephant and put the giraffe. You open the door, take the elephant out, put the giraffe in, and if you don't want to get batok, you close the fridge. Simple, right? Simple. You see, there's something dangerous when you say simple, right? Because they know it's going to get complicated real soon. To place something inside something else, you need to take out what was there in the first place. You want to put something in a fridge. You want to put a giraffe in, you take the elephant out. Very simple. Before we heard Jesus call, we all had elephants in our hearts. And when we hear Jesus call to follow, he's also asking us to take that elephant out, to take that master out. For Levi, it was money, it was profit, it was career. These were his masters. When Jesus was asking him, follow me, he said, say yes to me and say no to your old master. Because saying yes to following Jesus means saying no to our old masters. So let's see how he reacted. Follow me, Jesus said to him. Levi got up. You can just imagine this sinful man who did not live up to his name. So Levi, sitting there, I'm not worthy of my name. And then Jesus said, you, follow me. He got up, he responded, he left everything. He left the booth, he left the money, he left the thing that he was following, he left his shame, he left his feeling of unworthiness, he left everything. And he followed him. He followed his new master. Not only that, he not only followed Jesus, he let Jesus into his life. Then Levi held a great banquet. For who? For Jesus at his house. And a large crowd of tax collectors and others were eating with them. Jesus, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to let you into my house. And I'm going to invite my fellow troublemakers, my fellow outcasts, my fellow unworthy people, to let them hear about you. Saying yes to following Jesus means saying no to our old master. If you have an elephant in your heart, take that elephant out and put Jesus in. But our life is not a joke. We can't just take the elephant out. I wish it was so easy that when we get up, we can leave everything and that thing doesn't chase us anymore. For some, Once they accept Christ, miraculously, by God's grace, they stop doing the things that they shouldn't do. They stop swearing, they stop watching pornography, they stop gambling, they stop swearing. But for many of us, those masters that we've had for the longest time try to lay claim into our lives. We need to rely on God to take our elephants out. One of my favorite verses, John 15:5, says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do something. Nope. Anything. Nope. One thing. Nope. Nothing. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Willpower alone, you can't. You just can't. You cannot do anything. And I believe this. From experience, I've tried to be the good boy. I grew up at church. And I knew what was wrong. And I tried not to do it. I tried to do it on my own accord. But my master's handcuffs are too tight. See, if you're like me, I like Coke. Can you imagine barbecue? And then you have Coke. Oh my goodness. If you have spaghetti, then you have Coke. Oh my. Fried chicken with Coke. Everything with Coke tastes so nice. So for me, I chased pleasure. So I'm going to use Coke to show this pleasure. I'll just check whether it's Coke. Yep, it's Coke. Ta-da. I filled my life chasing Coke, chasing pleasures. That was my master. I grew up in church. I kind of knew what was expected of me, and I knew what, in my pursuit of pleasure, I filled my life with that. That was my master. Whatever felt good, I did, even if that is damaging to my life. So knowing better, growing up in church, I tried to do it myself. I tried to spin. I tried to get out. I tried to take that Coke out of my life because I want to be the good boy. I tried and tried. I'm still trying. I'm still trying. You're smiling because I'm struggling. Because I think all of us can relate. We try so hard to get rid of our elephants. We try so hard to get rid of our masters and our own power. Sure, you get bits here and there, but look at the Coke. It's still there. But if we ask God, that's why I love it when God said, follow me. He didn't say, hey, Levi, leave those things. He said, hey, Levi, follow me. And when we follow God, we get to know Him. We get to love Him. We get to learn more about Him. We experience more of His love. Experience more of His mercy. And we just let Him into our lives. He has the power to kick Coke away. But don't worry, God's love, God's grace is like unli rice. You can have more. You ask God every day, Lord, I want to say yes to you. Lord, I want to say no to Coke. I want to say no to my master. Lord, just do it. Just fill me up so that I overflow. I overflow with your love, with knowing you, with being with you. Lord, I want to change. I want to know you. I want to follow you. I don't want to be driven by my Coke anymore. Like I said, His love is unlimited. Lord, I want to know you more. But in the Coke's really nice, right? And sometimes Coke Our masters, they try. They try to come in, but if we fill ourselves up with God, todo na natin, let's max it out. Every day we say yes to Him. Every day we want God to be with us. Every day we get to know Him, we embrace Him, we take Him. We can get the elephant out. But we need every day. It cannot just be one day. It cannot just be 2 days. It can't just be 1 week, 1 month of God, because Coke, you saw how a little bit permeates everything. But God is merciful. God is loving. God is gracious. And He, my brothers and sisters, is powerful. And unlike me, who only brought 3 water bottles, God has unlimited. I cannot emphasize this enough. The change wasn't immediate. The change, God didn't say, throw it away and I'll fill you up. God did not say, Levi, I'll change your life. Jesus said, follow me. And I'll fill you up day by day, by day by day, day by day, until I become your master. Like the glass, we had a life full of things that were not of Jesus. But if we keep following God, we keep knowing God, we keep loving God, we keep relying on Him, He will get us, He will help us get rid of our elephants and more. Do you see that the water kept overflowing, even though there's no more Coke? The more you pour, the more it overflows. If we get God's grace and love and accept Him and follow Him, our love overflows to everyone around us. Pretty much like how Levi did. Levi got up. Levi left everything behind. Levi followed. And because of his gratefulness, of his love, he overflowed to every other friend that he had. By the way, our brother Levi, he's also known by another common name. His name's Matthew. He's the author of the first book of the New Testament. He became someone on the outskirts to someone who's at the forefront for God. You might think that you're Levi right now, but God's not finished with you. God's looking at each one of us and asking us, follow me. Saying yes to following Jesus means saying no to our old master. So what now? We need to learn from Levi. We need to get up, to make a commitment. We need to leave everything behind. We say no to the things that were controlling us before, and we need to follow Jesus and make a daily commitment to follow Him. I cannot emphasize enough daily. This is the part where we have to act. We're going to take maybe 1 minute of silence. We need to think about who or what our elephants were. Who were our masters before? And we need to complete this sentence for ourselves. Lord, I'm saying yes to you. By saying yes to you, I want to say no to lust. I want to say no to materialism. I want to say no to pursuing my own pleasures. I want to say no if a loved one is the one stopping you from pursuing God. You might have to say that I want to say no to following my wife. I want to say no to following my best friend. I want to say no to following my friend. But rest assured that you're not leaving them behind. like Levi, he left the booth behind, went to Jesus. And you know what he did? He brought Jesus to his friends. He left all the taxpayers behind, tax collectors first, followed Jesus, and then he brought Jesus to them, introduced to them. So if you're saying no to your family, don't worry. You follow Jesus, you leave following them, you follow Jesus, and you get them to follow Jesus as well. I'm not saying to cut ties. What I'm saying is to focus on Jesus. And we've gone from day to day, years upon years, following that Master. And today we realize that following that Master, following whatever you've been following, has led you to a dead end. And when you first heard Jesus' request or Jesus' invitation, you felt, that's not for me. I'm too far gone. I've been following money too much. I can't change now. I've been following fame too much. I can't change now. But God is asking us to follow Him, to say yes to Him, and to say no to our old masters. He says in His Word, He is the way, the truth, and the life. Come and drink from the well that never runs dry. All the momentary pleasure that our masters have given us are just that, momentary. But Jesus, He promises lifelong and even beyond life. Contentment, love, joy, and peace. And He's asking you to follow Him, not just today, every day.
Lord, I give my heart. Lord, I give my life. In all that I say, everything that I do, I am yours. I am yours. Lord, you're all I need. Everything I dream, my hopes and desires, I found them in you. You are the reason I live. 'Cause you chose me, you called me by name. From the moment that you touched my life, I have been changed. You found me and set me apart. Now I'm reaching for my destiny, this future you have planned for me. Yes, Lord, we give you our hearts and our lives. Hallelujah.